Andre Lewis stood in the marble lobby, dripping rain onto a designer rug that probably cost more than his car. His daughter, Nia, clung to his neck, burning with fever, shivering in her thin hoodie. The night manager did not look at the child. He looked at Andre's wet trainers. "Sir, you're going to have to leave." Andre blinked, stunned. "I paid for the room. The check-in confirmation is on my phone." The manager smiled like it was funny. "That's not the point. Guests complained. You're making people uncomfortable." A few business travelers turned to stare. Someone raised a phone, subtle, but Andre saw it. The recording had already started. Andre reached for his wallet. The manager leaned in and spoke softly, so only Andre could hear. "Go back to wherever you came from. This isn't your world." Andre's jaw tightened. He wanted to explode, but Nia coughed into his shoulder, weak and scared, so he swallowed his anger like poison. Andre had no idea the hotel owner was about to walk through those doors, and the owner already knew his name. Before we get to that, let me tell you what happened the night before, because one small act of kindness in the rain was about to flip this entire hotel upside down. Andre wasn't supposed to be in that part of the city. He lived 40 minutes away, in a small flat where the boiler knocked all winter and the neighbors' music leaked through the walls at 2 in the morning. He worked 2 jobs. Days fixing lifts, nights driving deliveries when overtime showed up. And everything he did had one purpose. Nia, 8 years old, big eyes, loud laugh, the kind of child who apologized when other people bumped into her. Her mom left when Nia was 3. No dramatic goodbye, just a quiet disappearance that left Andre with questions he stopped asking out loud. Money was always tight. Andre did not dream about holidays or fancy cars. He dreamed about boring things, rent paid early, a fridge with food, a school trip that didn't require a lie. That week, Nia's asthma had been acting up. The school nurse called Andre twice. "Her breathing's a bit rough, Mr. Lewis. Might be the cold." Andre promised he'd take her to the GP. He meant it. He just needed to get through the week without losing hours. Then the lift company sent him to a job in the city. Late, the kind of job you couldn't refuse if you wanted to keep being offered work. He finished at 9 p.m., exhausted, hands smelling of metal and oil. When he picked Nia up from his aunt's, she was warm. Too warm. "Dad, I'm fine," she whispered, forcing a smile. Then she coughed, and the cough sounded like it had teeth. Andre didn't gamble with his daughter's health. He drove her straight to urgent care. The clinic was packed. Flu season. Chairs full. Babies crying. Receptionists moving like machines. After hours, a nurse finally checked Nia. "Temperature's high. Lungs are tight. She needs rest and monitoring. If she gets worse, come straight back." Andre nodded, carrying Nia back into the storm. Rain hammered the windscreen so hard it sounded like stones. Nia slept in the passenger seat, with her head against a folded coat. Andre drove slowly, and then he saw it. A man in his late 60s stood by a bus stop, soaked through, shaking. No umbrella, no phone in his hand, just a small carry-on suitcase and a look like he'd run out of options. Andre's brain argued with itself instantly. "It's late. You've got your child. Keep driving." But Nia stirred, half asleep. "Dad, is that man okay?" Andre pulled in. He lowered the window. "You all right, mate?" The man turned. His eyes were sharp despite the rain. "My taxi never came," he said, "and I don't think I can walk much further." Andre looked at the shaking hands, the pale face, the suitcase. "Get in," Andre said. "You'll freeze out here." The man stared like he couldn't believe it. Then he opened the door and sat in the back, careful not to drip too much. "Thank you," the man said quietly. "Most people don't stop." Andre shrugged. "My daughter noticed you. Hard to say no after that." The man leaned forward slightly. "What's your name?" "Andre, this is Nia." Nia waved sleepily. The man smiled, genuine. "Hello, Nia." Instead of asking questions, the man asked one thing. "Is she ill?" Andre nodded. "Fever, asthma. I'm just trying to get her home." The man went quiet for a moment. Then he said something that stuck. "You're doing a good job." Andre didn't know why, but hearing that from a stranger almost hurt. He drove the man to a nearby hotel the man mentioned, the Crescent Royal. Andre had never been inside. He'd driven past it and assumed it was for people who wore watches that cost more than rent. The doorman came out, saw Andre's old car, and his expression changed slightly. But when the older man stepped out, the doorman straightened fast. "Good evening, sir." Andre didn't clock it. He was too focused on Naya's breathing. The older man turned back. "Andre, if you ever need anything, you helped me tonight when you didn't have to." He offered a business card. Andre barely looked at it. He stuffed it into his pocket while balancing Nia. "Take care of your little one," the man said. Andre drove away, thinking that was the end of it. He had no idea it was the beginning. By 2 a.m., Nia's fever spiked again. Andre panicked, drove back to urgent care, waited another hour, got medicine, then sat in his car staring at his daughter sleeping. He was meant to be at work at 7. He hadn't slept. His hands trembled from caffeine and fear. He made a decision. He couldn't drive home safely, not with Nia in that state. So he booked the nearest room he could afford, last minute, using the last of his overdraft. It happened to be the Crescent Royal, because everything else was full. Andre walked in carrying Nia, and that's when the night manager approached him like Andre was a problem that had wandered in. "You're in the wrong place," the manager said. Andre showed the booking. "I'm not. Room's under Lewis." The manager glanced at the screen, then back at Andre's face, then at Nia. "Sir," he said, polite but sharp underneath, "this hotel has standards." Andre stared. "My child is ill." The manager shrugged. "We're fully booked. We can refund you." Andre felt heat rise in his neck. "You can't refund me and throw me out at 2 in the morning. I've paid. I've got confirmation. What is this really about?" The manager leaned in. "People like you always think money makes you belong." Phones came out. A couple inexpensive coats watched like it was entertainment. Andre realized the manager wanted him to react, wanted him to become the stereotype they expected. So Andre did the one thing that ruined the manager's game. He stayed calm. "I want your name," Andre said, "and I want your supervisor." The manager laughed. "My name is Mr. Harrow, and you're leaving." He snapped his fingers at security. 2 guards stepped forward. Nia coughed, weak. Andre adjusted his grip, trying to keep her warm. A woman muttered, "This is disgusting." But she didn't step in. Nobody did. Andre stood in the middle of that shining lobby and felt something he hadn't felt in years, powerless. Then the front doors opened again. A man walked in, wearing a dark hoodie. No umbrella. Rain on his shoulders like he didn't care. He looked like any tired older man, coming in from the storm. Until the staff saw his face. The doorman straightened so fast it was like a reflex. "Good evening, Mr. Rowland." Andre froze. Mr. Rowland. The older man from the bus stop. Mr. Rowland looked at Andre, looked at Nia, then looked at Mr. Harrow. "What's going on?" he asked. Harrow smiled instantly, fake warmth. "Sir, we have a situation. This guest is causing a disturbance." Andre's mouth opened, but no words came. Mr. Rowland didn't look at Andre like a stranger. He looked at him like someone he already trusted. "Is that true?" Mr. Rowland asked Andre. Andre swallowed. "I'm not causing anything. My daughter's ill. I booked a room. They're trying to kick us out." Mr. Rowland's eyes narrowed slightly. "Why?" "Complaints, sir," Harrow said. Mr. Rowland tilted his head. "From who? Name them." Harrow's throat moved. "We can't disclose guest information." Mr. Rowland nodded slowly. "Funny. You're very protective of guest information when it suits you." He turned to the guards. "Step back." They did it instantly. Harrow's smile began to crack. Mr. Rowland pointed at Andre. "This man helped me last night when I was stranded. He had his own sick child with him. He still stopped." He looked around the lobby, voice calm but carrying. "If that makes him uncomfortable for you, then the problem isn't him. The problem is this hotel." Silence settled, heavy. Then Mr. Rowland said the sentence that changed Harrow's life. "Pull up the incident log, now." Harrow blinked. "Sir, it's not necessary." Mr. Rowland's tone stayed quiet. "Do it." The receptionist tapped keys nervously. A screen flipped. Mr. Rowland leaned in. Interesting. He turned the screen so Andre could see. Guest removal request filed under maintenance issue. That's odd. He looked at Harrow. Why did you categorize a father and child as a maintenance issue? Harrow stammered. System default, sir. Mr. Rowland nodded once. Right. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, crumpled business card. Andre's heart dropped when he realized it was the one he ignored. Mr. Rowland read the name aloud like it mattered. Carter Rowland, owner. Then he looked straight at the phone's recording. And I'd like everyone to keep filming. Harrow's eyes widened. Mr. Rowland turned to the receptionist. Call the on-duty nurse we keep for VIP guests. Harrow tried to cut in. Sir, that service is reserved. Mr. Rowland didn't even look at him. It's reserved for human beings. Bring her down. While the nurse checked Nia's breathing, Mr. Rowland sat Andre down in the lounge like Andre belonged there. Harrow stood nearby, sweating. Mr. Rowland asked Andre quietly, Has he done this before? Andre hesitated. I don't know. Mr. Rowland nodded once. Then he asked housekeeping to come down. 2 cleaners arrived, unsure, glancing at Harrow like he was their boss. Mr. Rowland spoke gently. I'm not asking you to get anyone in trouble. I'm asking you to tell the truth. The older cleaner swallowed hard. He does this, she said. A lot. Harrow snapped, That's enough. Mr. Rowland raised one hand. Harrow stopped. The cleaner continued, voice shaking. He targets people he thinks won't fight back. Then he charges them a no-show fee even if they were here. Says they caused damage. Says they smoked. Anything. Andre stared. That's theft. Mr. Rowland nodded slowly. Yes. The cleaner pulled out her phone. I kept receipts, screenshots, messages. Mr. Rowland's voice softened. Why? She looked at him. Because nobody believes cleaners. But I knew one day you'd ask. Mr. Rowland turned to Harrow. You've been stealing from guests, using bias as a cover. Harrow's voice rose. This is ridiculous. Mr. Rowland pointed at the camera phones. You chose a public stage. Now you don't get to complain about the audience. He turned back to reception. Call HR and call the police. Harrow panicked. Police? For what? Mr. Rowland leaned in slightly. Fraud, discrimination, and something else I suspect. Mr. Rowland nodded at the incident log. It isn't just removals. There are missing items, lost jewelry, wallets never returned. He looked at Harrow. How long have you been running your own little side business out of my hotel? Harrow's eyes darted toward the door. One of the guards stepped closer, blocking the exit. Police arrived. Not rushed. Professional. Harrow tried to play victim, tried to claim Andre provoked him. But the recordings were everywhere now. Multiple angles, multiple voices, multiple timestamps. Andre sat with Nia asleep against his chest while the nurse monitored her. Mr. Rowland returned and crouched so he was eye level with Andre, not above him. I'm sorry, he said simply. Not just for him. For the fact you walked in, expecting to be treated like that. Andre's throat tightened. I'm used to it. Mr. Rowland shook his head. You shouldn't have to be. He stood and addressed the lobby staff. Effective immediately. Any guest removal requires a written explanation and my office review within 24 hours. No exceptions. He looked at housekeeping. And housekeeping staff will have a direct reporting line for misconduct. I want truth, not silence. Then he turned back to Andre. You paid for your room, but tonight you're my guest. Andre started to refuse. Mr. Rowland lifted a hand. This isn't charity, it's correction. By morning, Nia's fever dropped. Andre finally slept for 2 hours in crisp white sheets that smelled like detergent and calm. When he woke, he checked his phone. The video had gone viral. Some people called it staged. Some people argued in comments. But Andre didn't care about opinions. He cared about one thing, that for once, the truth had witnesses. So if you believe dignity can't be bought, type respect. And if you've ever seen someone treated like they don't belong, share this story. Not for likes. For the next person standing in the rain, holding a child, hoping the world will be kind.